All right, so the goal of today is to really introduce Her Playbook, what it is, what you're getting yourself into. About half of you guys are already signed up, and a couple of you guys are in as a sneak peek because you may have interest in possibly joining us. And a few of you are return graduates who I'm so excited to have here. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. Typically, the way that we start a call every week, we will be on Zoom. This will not be the code. You will get a new code just because this one was open to people who are not actually enrolled yet. But you'll get your Zoom code, and it will be the same place, same time every week, 9 a.m. PST on Zoom. And we will meet here. I ask that you're on time. We usually play a song just like we did there. And then when the song ends, we jump right in. And what I have found is the vibes and the energy and the flow really are determined on people showing up. We had an amazing group this last wave. Pretty much everyone showed up every single week, but I know that some of you guys have, things that come up, work, all the different things. So obviously if stuff happens, just let us know. But you can come on, and we ask that you're on video. So if you are, moving around, I really would just challenge you. That's part of the coaching. I will call you out eventually to give yourself that hour of time. I really invite you to work around your schedule to try to figure out how to block out this hour of time, because it is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So I would just invite you to do that. So I then will open up with a prayer to just connect to our source, our creator, because I feel like I am just a vessel. I am just the messenger of this work. And I don't know what God wants you to hear in that day and time. And so I just connect to God and ask him to come and be with us. And then we get started. So I am actually going to do that today as well. And then I'm going to do the rundown. And I've asked a couple of the ladies who already did Her Playbook to share their version of the rundown of what Her Playbook is, just so that you can hear it from somebody else. I'm always looking for ways to explain what it is, because I feel like you can't really put words to it until you just experience it. So I'm going to go ahead and pray if you guys will join me. I'm going to just open us up. So thank you, God, for this day. I thank you for waking each and every one of us up this morning, God. I just thank you for the fact that we showed up here today, God. I know that every time we choose to show up, especially when it's pouring into ourselves and investing in ourselves, there's a sacrifice to be made, God. I know that these ladies overcame maybe organizing their kids, moving around their work schedule, giving up something else they could be doing, God. And so I just honor these ladies. I see them, and I just thank you, God, for nudging them in their spirits to be here today, God. I just thank you for the ladies who have already said yes to this program, God. I thank you that blessings have already been planted, that seeds have already been planted, and that they are already going to see transformation just by that initial investment of saying yes to themselves, God. And I just pray for the ladies who are here taking a peek, maybe they're interested, God. I just pray that you speak to their heart today, God. A confused mind does not make decisions, God, and life does not happen on the fence. So I just pray that we could give the right information, the right direction today, so that ladies who are still considering who you have called to be here, God, I speak with you every single day, praying over who are the ladies who get to say yes to this program, God. I pray that if it's a fit for them, that they will push past any resistance, any fear, any uncertainty, any obstacles that might tell them that they can't do it right now, and that they will just say yes, God. And that if it's not for them, that you'll make it plain and clear, God. No confusion, no living on the fence, God. So I just pray that you speak through me, speak through those who share today, God, that we may share what needs to be shared. I pray that we get all the details out, all the questions, and that you just give each and every one of us the courage to speak up if we have something to say, or we have a question or anything like that, God. I thank you for this program, God. I thank you for choosing me to be the messenger and the vessel of this, God. I pray that you continue to work through me, speak through me, so that the miracles that you're getting ready to deliver in these ladies' life shall be done in this time over the next 3 months, God. We thank you. We love you. We praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So, we got some people waiting. I'm going to admit them. Admit. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning.
Right here.
Excuse me. All right. I'm going to mute everybody. So, all right. So if you ladies just joined us, we just wrapped up a prayer. I'm muting everyone. So if you are going to speak, you'll just need to unmute yourself. So, all right. So I want to just quickly share what Her Playbook is in my words, and then I'm going to invite my two special guests to just share with you their experience who just graduated. But Her Playbook was birthed over the last decade of my life. I actually feel like I've been prepared for this since birth. My life has just led me to this point. But over the last decade, I have been on an entrepreneurial journey and a self-discovery journey. And over the last 3 to 4 years, I've been on a deep dive of self-development. And about 2 years ago, I was working with a business coach, and my business coach would always say, she brought a program into her company, and she's like, I can give my clients the blueprint success to have a successful business, to make 7-8 figures in their business. I can tell you how to do, how to have the best marriage, the best relationship, how to be a great mother. But if you don't manage your mind and you don't master your leadership in your life and get around where you get in your own way, you're going to continue to run in circles and block your next level. And so she actually implemented a program into her coaching where she was like, I can't coach my clients unless they've done this program, because you've got to get out of your own way. You've got to see yourself in the mirror. And so for a few years, I kind of heard her talk about it, didn't do it, finally took the program, and it literally transformed my life. I actually did it with my husband, and it was a godsend moment, because at that time my marriage was at a breaking point. My husband and I had we were kind of trying to recover from him saying he was done being with me. He didn't want to be with me anymore, and I was already on this journey of trying to fix myself, if you will. And I thought I was attending this training for my business. I thought I was like, why am I running in circles? Why am I working my butt off, sacrificing my family, doing all this stuff, and still not making the money that I know I'm capable of making? And to my surprise, it transformed my marriage, my parenting, and of course, my business and my life. So much so that I went back and did their PhD program, because I felt like every person on the planet needs to do this work. So when you hear me say this work, I'm talking about the leadership work, the mindset work, the work that I have infused into my already program, because I've had a program for the last 4 years. So you may have heard the Fox Project, the Purpose Guide. I've named it different things. So it was my program evolving, and then I infused this leadership program after I got trained to be able to teach it. I'm always going back and getting more and more trained. I'm actually going to probably staff again this year to just continue to up my game as a coach. But that's pretty much where my certification comes from. It's my life experience matched with a leadership program that is transformative. I've also done other seminars, other programs that have qualified me to teach this mindset, subconscious, underlying work that really is the key to unlocking your fullest potential. So I named it Her Playbook because I feel like it's the playbook. I reverse engineered all the books, the trainings, the conferences, the everything that I've ever learned. And I asked myself, what are the things that transform my life? What are the actual exercises? What are the actual quotes and tips and books and things? And I've put them all here. So you'll have a library of books that I recommend. You'll hear all of my one-liners, my quotes that literally were like aha moments that changed my life. And of course, where I believe you get the results are these two things. One is that you're showing up every week and you're connected to the source. So unlike if you're consuming podcasts and conferences and you go to, this training or whatever, and you're fired up, and then you go back home and after a while you fizzle back out and you're the same person. For 3 months, you're plugged into the source of doing this work. It's long enough. It's 90 days where you actually create change. The second thing is that it's experiential. So if you follow me on social media, if you listen to my podcast, if you're connected to me somewhere else, you're consuming me teaching. It's the content. But in here, we're actually implementing it. We're doing exercises. There's an active workbook that you're going to get, all of that. So that to me are the two things that make it way different. And then one of my favorite parts is just the community that you build. It's just like, you're not going to want it to end. It is the most incredible experience to go deep alongside other powerful women and to know that you're not alone. And that, you know, one of my favorite parts when I did my training was I was in the room with people who I see online, 6, 7, 8-figure business owners, lawyers, doctors, stay-at-home moms, corporate dads, every religion, every race, every age. It was so incredible. And we were just stripped. Our masks were stripped. And that's what happens in Her Playbook. We're going to take your mask off and we're going to look at where's your gap. So you are going to get vulnerable. We are going to get real, but you cannot flourish in your life and your relationship if you're wearing a mask, if you're not 100% looking at your shit essentially and saying, okay, how can I accept how I am? Because I don't believe people change. So what this program is going to help you do is change your choices. And so it's going to allow you to learn how to choose otherwise when, you know, we're used to going a way that's not serving us anymore. So this is my gift to the world. It is my baby. It is my favorite thing to teach. I love this work. Like I said, it has transformed my life, my marriage, and my money. And I'm just so excited for you guys to be here. So I'm going to turn it to my two special guests. And I'm actually going to just pin you guys both on the screen, but you guys can talk obviously one at a time. Emily and Asia were just recently in our last wave of Her Playbook. And I asked them to come in and just kind of quickly share their experience, especially because what I love about both of these ladies is they were very, very skeptical at first. Asia was like, she did a call with me, but then she took a while to enroll. She kept going back and forth. Am I going to invest? Am I going to do it? Am I going to commit? Is this going to work for me? And Emily was very like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I belong here. I don't know. Like and I'll let her share her story, but they both were very hesitant and skeptical. And on the end, it was so incredible. We just had our last call last week. These ladies were rock stars. Our whole group were like, you guys were like, helped make this experience like even more amazing just by showing up the way that you did. They got vulnerable, they got real, they shared, they supported, and they have become raving fans of this work. And so I love seeing the transformation in their lives. I love to see the results that they've been creating. So I just wanted, Asia's gonna go first, yes. And so I just wanted to invite them on to share with you guys. And if you will, for sake of like keeping it brief and also intentional for those who are here, share from like, where were you, and like what would you recommend to someone who's on the fence, and what would you recommend to those who have already said yes? Because even though people have said yes, and you guys have invested money, people fall off. So what would you say to those ladies?
Hi, ladies. Hi, I'm Asia Richardson. First of all, you got to know I love Crystal and Emily because I am at brunch and I had to take the time out just to get on this call. One thing I'm gonna say is I'm so like, first of all, Her Playbook has absolutely changed my life. Let me tell you why. Because I was like right at the verge of a divorce. Look, this is a safe space, right? Of a divorce, and I just didn't know what I was doing. I got 3 kids. I just had a baby. I was just like, my back was against the wall. I was like, look, I was choosing between like 3 different coaches, and actually my friend here, she could tell you, like I was choosing, and I said, I was like, I know one coach, they have information all about business, but I knew that I started businesses and then I stopped them. Like I have a nonprofit, I had other businesses. I did women conferences, all of that, but I just knew I wasn't showing up. Like I was so inconsistent. People would call me and say, Asia, come. I would make excuses. I was late. I was just a hot mess, honestly. But the reason why is because I wasn't good in my relationship. I wasn't good with myself. I was not confident. It's so much that it was internal, but because I was married to an NFL player, I was like, I still got to show up. I still have to be this person. Right. And so one thing that really did it for me with Crystal is she kept showing up, and her information was so, it resonated with me because I was kind of like on that, let me check his phone, let me figure out I just needed a space, and I was just so honestly confused. And so I know I want a business coach, I want a relationship coach, but I will say this: before you do anything, you have to check in with yourself. You have to really figure out who you are, why am I not showing up? Why am I insecure? And just have those moments of sitting with those triggers that you really don't want to sit with. And so I would say, if you're on the fence, I'll speak to that first. I was on the fence, let me tell you, because I was like, I can't spend another dime. This is why my husband don't like me, because I keep spending money. I'm spending money on women conferences. I'm spending money on stuff that I don't need to spend money on, kids, clothes, whatever. And I was like, I can't do another thing if I'm not gonna finish it, because listen, that's on the fence, he's gonna leave me, right? And so I finally said, you know what? I talked to Crystal. She didn't even convince, and that's one thing I really like about Crystal. Crystal, she didn't have to convince me. I knew in my heart and my spirit that I needed her, but I was just like really getting on her nerves. So I was like, well, tell me this. Well, tell me exactly what we're gonna do. Well, tell me. And I was just like annoying myself because I knew I wanted to do it, but I was so scared to commit. But I jumped. Let me tell y'all this. So just like you guys, I got on the call, right? She did a promotion, and I was like, let me just be cheap because I didn't want to spend the money. So I was like, and I'm just going to join the group, right? And so I joined the group, and then you know how women do. We size each other up. We're looking at each other. I'm looking at, first of all, what's so funny, Emily now, she's like my BFF, but I was looking at her, I was like, I don't know if these are my girls. Like, I don't think they're going to understand me. I was really in my head. So I was like, as soon as the first call, I called Crystal and was like, okay, I'm just going to invest. I'm going to do the one-on-one instead of the group, because these girls are not my girls, right? And that was my insecurity, but I didn't know that. I just thought I was the SHIT. Honestly, that's just mine. Like, we have these egos, right? And so finally, I ended up upgrading to the one-on-one. Best thing I've done, because let me tell y'all, if you know you need Crystal and you get her one-on-one, it's so much better than a group. I mean, the group is amazing because you guys get that group session, you get the support, you get the camaraderie, if you will, the sisterhood. But then I upgraded to do the one-on-one. And let me tell y'all, when I was having trouble and time, I would just go in my box and be like, Crystal, let me tell you, this is pissing me off, And so just to have that one-on-one, it really changed the game. And then I got out of my head, got out of my triggers, and then I opened up to really show up every day. And then I listened to the girls, I listened to their pain, and we were more alike than I thought we were, different. And so then the one girl, or some of the girls that I thought we wouldn't kick it or we weren't cool, now they're like my BFF because we went through this together. I feel like it's a sorority now because we went through just seeing each other grow and seeing each other learn, and like to know that your personal friends or your group of friends that you are like in one-on-one with in your city or wherever you live, versus girls that you don't know, but you're going through it and you could trust them because they know every week what you're going through. It's worth it. If you haven't signed up, I would recommend it because it changed my life. I was on the fence. Now I have my business. I'm just so happy. Like I'm a consultant. I'm doing everything I know I was called to do. And guess what? I'm making money, y'all. And so my husband like, hey, you put that money in the bank? I'm like, okay, I got you, boo. And now I feel good because I didn't feel okay. I didn't feel like I was contributing. Even though I was a mom, even though I had babies, I wasn't contributing financially. And that was the biggest pain point in our relationship. He just felt like I was being a gold digger and I was just using him, just to be honest with you. So all that said, I'm pretty open, pretty honest. I hope to see you guys on Her Playbook because I'm going to do it again because I'm going to be so committed to this community because it really is life-changing. And I'm telling y'all, if I love Crystal enough to be at brunch and take the time out just to talk to you guys, that's how much I love Her Playbook. So I hope that helped. If you guys have questions, y'all can DM me. I'm pretty open, pretty transparent, but it's so worth it. If you're on the fence, I would definitely recommend Her Playbook. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Have a mimosa for me.
You already know. I was like, ooh, I hope they don't judge me. I'm drinking. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, last thing I'm going to say. With Crystal, I really appreciate that because I was so uptight. I felt like I had to be a mom 24/7. And now I'm learning how to actually enjoy life. And girl, listen, y'all need to do Her Playbook. You're going to be happy, fabulous, and just all that good stuff. All right. Thank you.
And I love that she shared that. I love that that you shared you're making money now, because I always tell women, I'm like, money is just an energy. So when you snatch your internal energy, all of a sudden stuff starts flowing. And I see Emily shaking her head. I'm going to turn to her. But it's like, I remember when we were like maybe a month into the program and Emily's like voxering me like, oh my gosh, these opportunities are just coming left and right. It's because when you change, everything around you is going to change. And this is why my business coach said, you got to do this type of work, because otherwise doesn't matter how much blueprint of success you do. So Asia, if you have to pop off, that's fine. But thank you so much for sharing and for being here.
Thank you. I'm popping off because I'm having mimosa.
Yes,
Y'all have a good day.
well, thank you again.
Bye. Bye, Emily.
Bye. Okay. So go ahead, Emily, turning it over to you.
Yes. Hey guys, how are you? Can you hear me? Okay, we're good. Hi everyone. So everything Asia said to the T, yes. When I first started like consuming Crystal's content, I love sharing this story because I actually found Crystal when I was like stalking my ex-boyfriend's like Instagram followers, and this girl he was messaging was following Crystal, and I was like, oh, she's probably in on it too, right? Like you make up these stories in your head because you're being crazy. And when I found Crystal, I was just like, oh my God, yes, to everything she was saying. I just was consuming all the content because just like so many of you, I'm sure everything she was saying like resonated with my soul. Like, yes, we are fellow crazies together. And I just saw this like glow up in her. I just, listened to her share how she changed her life and her marriage. And honestly, I was skeptical because I was like, there's no way you're just not crazy anymore. Like, there's no way you just go day to day and aren't like being crazy. And so I was kind of skeptical to join. I just felt like, oh my God, am I really going to spend money that I could be spending on a purse? That's even what I told Crystal. I said, I budget monthly so I can purchase or expensive pair of shoes. And I'm scared to do this, to give up my whatever for the month. I did it, I committed, and I made a post recently. I was like, I don't even want that bag anymore because I was like doing those things to fill a void in me. And I have just been like delivered because I found all these amazing things that I love in myself through doing this work. I think to people that are on the fence, you have to bet on yourself. You have to just know that if you want to change, you can, and it's here, and she's going to give you all the tools to do it. I was someone who hated speaking. Like, I would like cry and cringe when I had to talk. And now I'm like, yes, Crystal, please call on me. Like, let me tell everyone how great you are. So, and like Asia said, I used to size up the girls. When I first started, I was like, oh my God, like she's way too pretty, or she's stuck up, or she's not going to like me. And I did the same thing Asia did. I went to Crystal and I did one-on-one. And then once I just surrendered and really like allowed her playbook to just like consume me, then like Asia said, you find out that you're so much like the other girls. You're thinking the same things, you're feeling the same things. You guys will hop on these calls and like you'll be thinking something, you'll feel stuck, and someone else will bring it up and someone else will start talking about it. And you just realize you're all so in alignment because you're getting to just pour into each other and just be vulnerable with each other and just like love on each other. And so that is what I would say to those on the fence. Like, do it. You have literally nothing to lose and everything to gain. And then for those of you that have already signed up, stay in the program. Like Crystal shared, me and Asia were like kind of, I don't want to say like weird at the beginning, but we were like, I don't really want to do it. I don't want to talk to the other girls. And then when we did, just like I said, surrender, become vulnerable, we just like I'm gonna brag on myself for a second, because I'm not someone, I wasn't a girl's girl before this. And at the end, like our last call, so many people were like, oh my God, they got to say something about one of the people like that they loved or admired about someone. And so many people mentioned Asia and I, and it's because we surrendered and we stuck through everything, and we showed up every week, and we just really consume the content and allowed ourselves to pour into each other and just be vulnerable. And like now, like Asia said, she's like making money, she's doing all the things. Since I have started doing this, money is just flowing to me. Like I am in alignment. I have these like really amazing, incredible relationships with people that I didn't have before. I was really guarded, and now I'm just like open, and I'm just this little ball of love. And yeah, it's literally because I did this work. Yeah, being consistent really will change your life. You have to just follow through with it. Just show up every day and allow yourself to be vulnerable and pour into each other. But literally this work has changed my life, my whole life. Like, I'm so thankful. I'm not gonna cry. I'm a crier. But I'm just so in alignment now. I used to struggle with balance, like balancing everything. I was either all in or all out. And I feel like once you do this work, you find your alignment, your flow, and just all the blessings start pouring on you. And yeah, that is my share.
Thank you so much. I am going to go back to gallery. Can you guys see the gallery view, or is it still pinned on Emily? Okay, hold on. Gallery? Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Thank you, ladies, so much. And thank you all for being open to hearing from them. I really wanted to like you hear it from somebody who's done it, because I have to market my program. I'm selling it. I'm enrolling people. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm just blowing smoke to sell something. It's a real thing. It is a real live transformational journey. And so I'm grateful for you ladies for showing up. And we're going to talk about what to expect now and kind of how it works. But I will just say this so that I don't forget. One of our rules is you get to cry. You must cry. When you need to cry, you got to cry. So we don't hold back tears around here. We let it go. You'll learn in one of the modules how holding in your emotion, whether it's good or bad. And Emily and I learned, because we did do one-on-one too, we are like twin spirits, and Asia too. It was like the three of us were like three peas in a pod when it came to like how we operate. And one of those things is like, we're very even keel. We wouldn't let ourselves get too excited or even too low, because we don't want to be let down or look bad or whatever. We all have a looking good conversation. That's one thing we had in common. So one really cool thing about each cohort, each wave, each round, whatever you want to call it, of this program is you're gonna find that we source each other. So I'm really excited to see what your guys' common theme is amongst your group, because you'll start to see that you guys are like just alike. And so one of the things that we're going to talk about in our first call next week, but I'm going to just mention it today, is to start to notice who repels you, like who triggers you, who you're judging, and start to notice who you're really drawn to. Like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing, because that's going to say a lot about you. Whoever we repel are people who we see something in them that we don't necessarily love about ourselves. So it's going to be something in you that you're going to get to work on throughout the program. And then whatever we are like drawn to, those are qualities that we're really wanting to be like. And so when these ladies were judging each other and being like, oh, they're stuck up and it's because that's what they see inside themselves. And then when they were like thinking that they weren't good enough or whatever, that's just an internal judgment of worthiness and all those things. So we're going to start to get really comfortable with noticing the stories that go through our head. And I'm going to invite you guys to be writing those things down, because that's going to help you reflect back of where your blocks are in your life. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you guys once you, Once you sign up, so you guys should have already gotten your link so that you can go into Podia. There's a welcome video, and then there should be a checklist of things that you want to get, because you want to go ahead and get your vision board supplies, which of course, hopefully all of you guys are attending this weekend on Saturday, the 16th. I'm doing the virtual retreat encore. It's going to be a fun lady. If I know a couple of you guys were there last night at the ladies' night. It's going to be another ladies event. We're going to do a sound bath meditation. We're going to do our vision board. So whether you've already done my vision board method or not, it's a great way to get ahead going into the program. If you can't make it, don't stress, don't worry. We're going to do it during the program. But all that to say, you're going to want to get your supplies for your vision board. One of the things that's really cool about Her Playbook is it's an ever growing, and evolving program. So every wave I restructure. Since I started before I named it Her Playbook, I get better and better. So one of the things that I changed about this wave that we didn't do last time is we're going to start with our vision boards. They didn't get vision boards introduced until they were in like module 4. You guys are going to get vision boards in the beginning, because what I want to do is I want to hold you to your vision. What's the point of having a vision board if we're not actively working it and seeing where we get in our own way? That's what you're here for. You're here for healthy life and relationship, money flowing to you easily, like these ladies said, living in your calling, your passion, your purpose, identifying where you get stuck and where you're blocked. One of our common things from the last wave was we start things and didn't finish. Many of us were not finishers. We were not consistent. So if you want to get a hold of why are you not consistent, we need to have something that we're working from so that you can see yourself and find the gap of where you're in your own way. So this is what Podia will look like. This is actually from the last wave. So you're going to have a new wave, a new dashboard, but the other one, if you've logged in already, it doesn't look like this because this is going to drip out. You're not going to get all the modules at once. Everything drips out. So you're going to have your welcome video, and then you'll have the checklist. And then module 1 will drop next Tuesday after our first call. So every Tuesday, 9 a.m., we meet on Zoom live like this. And then afterwards, the module is available on the platform. So you'll log back into this platform to access the video, and then you'll have that week to consume it. So you consume the content on your own time. The live call is where we bring it to life and we do the active work. You're going to do workbook work with the module. So every module, so there's 6 modules broken up into 2 parts over 12 weeks. So week 1 is module 1, part 1. Week 2 is module 1, part 2. Week 3 is module 2, part 1. Week 4 is module 2, part 2, and so on and so forth. So it's broken up so that you can consume it. There is what we call a bye week. If I make many comparisons to pro athlete world, because my vision is that many of us are married to high profile men or desire to be. And one of the things about high profile men is they live high integrity, high profile, high commitment lifestyles. You don't get to the league if you're not committed, disciplined, consistent with your diet, with your exercise, with all of those things. So we are leveling ourselves up to that same level so that we have that same integrity in our life. The point of that is when you are operating at such a high standard, you get tired. I tell my ladies all the time, it's not easy being a leader. Like Emily said, I didn't believe that Crystal changed and isn't crazy anymore. Don't get it twisted. I'm still a crazy mother effer. I'm crazy and it comes out all the time. I have learned the tools to override my crazy so that I don't sabotage my marriage. I have learned the tools to override my complacency, my inconsistency, my quick, slick mouth, because I'm a bitch just like they are. That's why we all saw each other. We all were in the room sizing each other up. So I'm not a different person. I have just learned the tools, and that's what this whole playbook is a toolbox for you to learn how to override yourself, because people don't change. And I think that's one of the biggest misunderstandings, that people will go their whole life and be like, one day, God, please change me. Please make me more consistent. Please give me more money. Please, please, please. You have to choose to be confident so that you can go make the money. You have to choose to be, the only way to be consistent is to be consistent, to choose to keep going when you normally stop. So I say all that to say that we also have a bye week because you're going to get tired. We go deep. We're going deep. We're looking at yourself in the mirror and we're pulling out all the shit that doesn't work. That's ruining your life, your relationships, your money, your whatever you're here to overcome. So in that bye week, it'll be a nice reminder of refresh, catch up. What I want you to know is if you get behind, please just stay in the game. One thing that I believe to be true is I pray over you guys before you even join this program. I pray every single day, God, send the people who you want to be in this program. I pray before every single call. So I believe that even if you, for some reason, stop doing the modules, you know, we might be on module 4 and you still are opening up module 2. Don't stop showing up to the weekly calls. Make your Tuesdays your non-negotiable. You've got to commit. If for some reason you're not able to make that Tuesday, pick a day and a time of the week that you are able to commit and watch the replay. I kid you not, watch the replay. If you find yourself doing your old pattern of, oh, I signed up for this program, I'm too busy, I'm going to get to it, that's your problem right there. You've got an intimacy issue. And if you can't get intimate with yourself, and if you can't slow down enough to show up an hour a week for yourself, that's your problem right there. And you can just fix your whole life by working on that in itself. So don't fold because you get behind. That's one thing that I see common every single time I do a group program is people get overwhelmed by week 2, 3, that they're like, oh my God, I haven't even opened the module yet. And then they want to cave and fold in. That's your pattern coming up. All your shit is going to come up. Everything that so the way I want you to think of the next 3 months is like a time capsule. It's literally like it's like you're going to go into a little container and it's full of mirrors and you're just looking at yourself inside out in those mirrors. That's what this program is going to do to you. So everything that happens, I don't think she's on. I invited her to come on. I wanted her to share, but I don't think she made it. But I'm going to just quickly share this as the example to drive this home, and then I'm going to move on. One of the ladies who was in the group with us, she was one who showed up a lot. She was very consistent. She showed up. She missed the very last call. And I text her after and I'm like, hey girl, we missed you. Like I just want you to know your presence is missed. And I'm like, okay, so friend Crystal just wanted you to know I missed you. Coach Crystal wants you to ask yourself, where else in your life do you go all the way to the finish line and then not cross the finish line? Where else does this show up in your life? And she was triggered AF. She was triggered. She was like, I all this stuff was happening and this, and then my day is crazy and my son and my kids and my this and my that and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And she was giving me all her reasons. I'm like, boo, you can have reasons or results. So are you giving me your reasons or what is your result? I'm not judging you. I'm not shaming you right now. This is for you. You didn't hurt me by not showing up. And I think that's what I want you guys to hear is you don't hurt other people by not showing up in your life. You hurt yourself. Now, granted, you do hurt other people, like if it's your kids or your partner or your friends or whatever, but ultimately, if we can't show up for ourselves, it doesn't even matter what other people think or feel. So my point of bringing that up was by her not finishing, she went into self beat up. Another thing that you'll learn that I teach is don't get into self beat up. You can't change what you did 5 seconds ago. So we learn how to pick our shit up and keep moving. I'm like, look, it's a perfect reflection for you. There's your breakthrough. Where else in your life do you not finish? That's it. There's your breakthrough. Now your overcoming moment is to finish. And then like after she went through her trigger and she was mad at me and she didn't want to hear what I had to say, then she was like, okay, thank you. You're right, blah, blah, blah. And then we moved past it. But I use that example to show you that everything that happens, if you, let's say every Tuesday, you start to find that you're using an excuse of why you can't get on the call. Go ahead and make that a reflection of where else in your life do you make excuses for things that are important to you that you're doing for yourself. One thing that is very common in the ladies that I attract to this community are women who are used to putting themselves on the back burner, women who are used to pouring into everything and everybody else before themselves. So don't be surprised if that pattern shows up and all of a sudden you have 300 things that get in the way of you showing up on a Tuesday or watching the replay or checking into the module. You've got to override it. If you don't choose to override it, you will not get the results. This program does not work if you don't show up. So I think it's just very important for you to hear that, because you heard two amazing testimonies. You've heard me preaching about her playbook for the last month and a half, and you finally said yes, or hopefully are going to say yes, but you will not see results if you don't show up and do the work. So that's most important. So here's what the work will look like. You're going to log in. You're going to, whatever module we're on is what will be open. Nothing will be after that until we're on that part. And then you can always go back, and then there will be an accompanying workbook that you will do. The goal is that you will have a tangible hard copy workbook. We're working on the edits right now. Hopefully it's going to print. And I will just tell you right now, it won't be the same workbook that's coming out the next time, just because it's always changing. So it's always fun to just actively be doing this work. But in the meantime, until you have the physical workbook, the workbook is downloadable. You'll get it. It'll have questions. Don't treat the questions as like, oh, okay, it's just this or that. These questions will transform your life. These questions are what's going to start pulling up all the things that you need to dive into. So that's the platform. Let's see, I'm going to just stop my share. So you'll log in, you'll watch the module, you'll get the training, you'll get the workbook, you'll do the work, you'll show up here. The goal is that, let's say today is our first day, the module opens up, you watch it sometime in the week, you do the workbook. When you come to the next call, we're kind of going to keep rolling and playing up on things. So you want to bring your questions. If you get stuck on something and you're like, I didn't understand this, or this didn't make sense to me. If you get triggered, please write it down, take a picture, highlight it, circle it, put a notepad in it. Triggers are your opportunities to grow. When you get triggered, it's because there's something underneath that. So please recognize those moments. But yeah, the open call. So the call will be like this. This is where you have access to my coaching. I will say this because the ladies brought this up, that I do have the option of one-on-one. So if you find that you want to upgrade and do one-on-one coaching as well, what that looks like is you're still doing everything here, but then you have access to me on Voxer, which is like a walkie-talkie app. Think of it as like voice memos. So you have me, I call it pocket coaching, where it's like, Crystal, I'm tripping. I just did model or I'm trying to apply this with my man, or I'm trying to start this business. I did lots of business coaching with some of the ladies. So we were able to move past where we were just in the modules. So if you are interested in that, you can reach out and let me know, and I'm happy to share that with you. And then you also have calls with me that are just one-on-one, not in the group setting. But I will tell you that this is the guts. I have 3 of my one-on-one clients from I work in 3-month intervals. The last 3 months, they're coming into her playbook because it's that powerful. I was one-on-one coaching them, and I'm like, girl, you need to get in her playbook. You need to get in her playbook. Same thing. Now I see why my business coach was like, I can't help you unless you do this work. Because just to give you an example, if I'm one-on-one coaching you and I start calling you out, like, where else in your life do you not finish? And you're triggered AF, but you don't have this foundational work to know my language and to know my tools, then we're going to spend a lot of our time me teaching you what I'm already teaching in her playbook. So you're not getting your money's worth. So those women are actually coming back to do the program because they see that they missed out on a huge chunk of my coaching. So that's available to you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just begin with the top 3 most common questions, and then I'm going to open it to you guys for what questions you might have. So the number 1 question I get is, do you have to be a pro athlete wife to join? And obviously this is a question for those who haven't already joined, but the answer is no, not as of right now. I am polling my audience, and I am getting kind of like a 50-50 split. If you're in the program right now and you are a pro athlete wife, I want to let you know that it's safe. I want to let you know that if you, again, 7 of my one-on-one clients who are in her playbook were also one-on-one clients because they did want that confidentiality. They did want to talk with me one-on-one, but they all ended up being like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. I'm glad that I did the group. These women are amazing. And I personally, one of my missions in life is to break down the barriers of giving a F what people think of you. So my goal anyways as a pro athlete wife is to not care who is in the program with you, to not care what is around you, because you're so confident in your own skin and your own life that you don't care who might be judging you or who might be thinking XYZ. However, I do know that we have very complex lives. And so if you want that privacy, just know that you don't have to disclose anything you don't want to. And I do match up we do buddies, and I match up the pro wives with the pro wives. So just know that it's still safe. Don't worry. But no, you don't have to be a pro wife. You just have to resonate and know that my examples come from that point of view, because that's my life. So like Emily was like, oh, I use my purse money to join. I have people who are like, I'm using my rent money. So they might be triggered by someone who's like, oh my God, I had to give up a purse to do her playbook. They might feel like that, right? So if you're triggered, that's on you, because the lifestyle of our worries are just different. It's just different. We're worried about our remodels and where we're going on vacation and having to pack up on off season. We're not worried about necessarily paying the bills or, childcare or whatever. Well, a lot of wives are actually worried about childcare. But anyway, so just giving you that heads up, if you're not a pro wife, you may be triggered, and you get to ask yourself what's underneath that. That's on you. So it is a safe place for both sides. The other question I get is, do I have to attend live? I already kind of covered that. If you attend live, you get the most out of it. There's nothing like live energy. There's nothing like it. But I know we had one of the wifeys sharing on the last call the other day how she watched one of the replays and she was bawling, crying, and she felt so connected. So even if you're not live, you're still going to get so much value. But yes, live is the best way. And what else is the main question? Do I have to attend live? And I mean, I think that's it. I'm gonna just stop there and open it up to you guys. If there's anything, questions that I haven't covered, anything that you would like to share. And then if we don't have questions in our last 10 minutes, I'd love to hear from some of the ladies who have said yes, to just hear what you're excited about, why you said yes. But I'll open it up for any questions. And don't be shy. Okay. Hannah, are you raising your hand? Okay, go ahead. Oops. Wait, hold on. I muted you on accident, trying to unmute you, and then you muted, and then. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just curious about the buddy system. Is it just someone like an accountability partner that we check in with?
Yeah, so we'll go more into detail in that once we're in the program, but basically it's randomly selected. I've done it differently. I've done it where I paired people. I don't like that way because I get in my head like, are they going to like each other? Is this, and it's like, it's not about that. Are they similar? Are they different? Actually, the beauty of it being random is that you actually get the perfect buddy. And what I always tell people is you're either going to love your buddy or you're going to hate them. And if you hate them, it's perfect because you're going to see what you hate in yourself. And if you love them, it's perfect because you're going to see yourself in a different light and you're going to level up. So either way, it's perfect. But what I do is I separate pro wifeys, non-pro wifeys, and then I auto populate the duo, and then you have a buddy. You guys can exchange info. I know ladies decide how they communicate, how often they communicate. I recommend you stay really closely connected, and you're checking in. Did you do the module? Where are you at? How are you feeling? All of that stuff. And one thing that just came to my mind, and because I was thinking of one of the gals that I asked to come on who didn't make it, one of the things she shared, because I always ask feedback from the ladies who already did the program. And one thing, because we do get so deep and you are opened up so much, if you ever, and I'll go over this again and again, but if you ever have a moment where you feel like you need extra support, please, that's where you can reach out to your buddy. But please let me know so I can make sure that I get you in touch with resources, with tools, with further coaching or whatever. I know we may not be doing one-on-one, but I can at least get you supported so that you don't feel isolated in that, because you are going to bring up a lot of stuff. We bring up a lot of stuff. So just that's another area where the buddy is really nice to have, like someone to connect with if you're not doing one-on-one, or even if you are, and when you're in between the weeks or the calls. But yeah, great question. Thank you for asking. Anybody else? I know one of the biggest questions that we get when you're not committed is, what is the investment? Those of you who are already signed up, I think most all of you guys got in when it was in early bird pricing. So this will be a little bit different, but the pricing for her playbook is $2,500. And you can pay that in full, or you can pay it in 3 payments once a month, divided into 3. I think it comes out to $1,500 a month. And then, did I do, no, that, sorry, not 1,500. That's Cloud9 that I'm thinking of. It's like 6 something a month, 6, I don't know the exact amount, but I can get you that link. But if you sign up today on this call, where I can give you the code and you're like, yes, I'm committed, I can send you the code for $500 off. So you'd be getting it for $2,000 pay in full, or 3 payments divided by. So you can do that. You can take advantage of that. Carissa. So that's a big question. Again, like Emily said, like Asia said, they didn't want to invest the money. Money is the biggest objection I get from people when I'm doing sales calls with them to enroll them into the program. $2,000 in the grand scheme of thing of what you're getting in your life, it's priceless. I don't know how else to put that, other than money is an energy. And even if you literally don't have it in your bank account right now, it always comes back to you. There's just, that is a guarantee there. If you're committed, don't let the money stop you from joining. I would just say that. But so that's the biggest question that I get from people who haven't registered yet.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to hop off, but I just wanted to like consume all the content I could since we are off of her playbook now, but I'm going to just drop a note in the chat. It's like a paragraph, but I want you all to read it. I'm better at like writing than speaking. I love you all so much. I can't wait to see your transformation, and you need her playbook. I love you guys. Bye, Chris.
Thank you for being here, Emily. Appreciate you. All right. She's so sweet. Okay, I can't wait to read that. I have to head off because I have another call, but I just wanted to say thank you. In her playbook, you will learn how to become more of your best self. You will learn how to bring out in yourself what you love in other people. You will bloom into who God called you to be. And in that process, everything falls into place for you. Opportunities just start falling in your lap. You get to build these life-changing relationships. You get to build those types of friendships that you crave, where you aren't in competition with each other, and there is no pettiness. You get to watch each other and yourself thrive. And when Crystal is so incredible, pour into her. She will snatch your whole life. I will forever return to Crystal and her programs, because this has just been the biggest blessing in my life. It is worth every single penny. I can't wait to see everyone's transformation. Love it. Couldn't have said it better. So yes, we are complete as far as what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to pop in the link, in the chat, a link. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there was anything that I didn't share. But I'm going to pop the link in the chat if you are wanting to sign up. If you're wanting the code, please say yes, please, in the chat so I can send you the code. And if you are already signed up, remember we start next Tuesday at 9 a.m. And you will get an email with the code. So if for some reason you don't see an email, please reach out so that you get it. And I'm going to just turn it back to you guys one more time to make sure that there's no other questions. And I'm just copying this link. This link is going to take you directly to the checkout page. It's not like a sales page. If you want more information about, I don't know what more information that we could give you on, oh, I accidentally sent that directly to Asia. Not directly. If you feel at this point you need more information, I will just tell you from a coaching standpoint, that's just your brain trying to say, I want this, but so I would love to hear, if you have to go, please feel free, but I have a couple of minutes. I would love to hear if there's anyone who is already joined that would love to share just what you're excited about, or why you said yes. And or I'd love to hear from anyone who hasn't said yes yet, if you're joining us or if you're still on the fence. So if anyone wants to just pop in as we have these last few minutes, I'd love to hear.
I'll share quickly because I'm in transit myself.
Okay.
So I already did sign up. I got hooked first from listening to the podcast, and then I did the retreat. And initially, I was only supposed to be on the retreat for like 45 minutes because I actually had plans for my birthday that weekend, and ended up staying basically the entire time. Was it 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah, it was
I
like
can't remember. Except for the last, I missed the last 30 minutes versus only doing 45 minutes. And like she said, give yourself a chance to cry. I cried like 3 different times, and laughed, and it was just a freeing experience. And I left to go to dinner with my husband, and most of the conversation was about like, I need to sign up for this program. And excuse me, I'm already an entrepreneur. I'm 7 months pregnant with my 3rd child, and we're moving out of the country in a few months. So there's so much transition happening right now for me, but I'm in a place where I know I need another level of accountability to achieve a lot of goals. And this is something that I felt like I needed for myself. I'm definitely a person that doesn't shy away from doing something. I'm out of breath, moving around, trying to get in the
that pregnant breath is no joke.
I'm a person that, like, in order to reach my fitness goals, like, I need an accountability partner. I know that for myself. I'm in a place where I just need to show up in so many different facets of my life, and I need accountability to say, like, you got it, and this is why you haven't completed it. Because like Asia said earlier, I've started a whole bunch of different businesses as well. And there's a reason why I haven't stuck with certain things, whether or not because it's not turning out how I want it to be, or I lose interest. There's a reason behind that. So I just wanted to kind of sharpen my tools to find a way to be a better mom, better wife, a better entrepreneur for myself. Because it's also important for me to have a sense of self outside of those titles that we hold. Being wives and being parents, or being a parent, takes so much from us. And I always want to remember my sense of self. So if you're on the fence, like, it's totally worth the investment. The fact that she gives you an opportunity to make payments, like, you justify buying a bag, going on a trip, doing all these things. Like, this is something that's going to change your life from what people have been saying. And I'm just really excited to see the transformation within myself and hopefully some other women as well. Not hopefully, definitely some women as well, to kind of experience that. I think naturally as women, we're constantly comparing ourselves. But for me, that's always challenging. If I see somebody doing something better than me, that pushes me to work harder. Like, why am I not doing X, Y, Z? So I know that was supposed to be short, but I'm a long-winded person. So hopefully that helps somebody come over the threshold, because it's definitely worth the investment. And I haven't even started yet, but just coming out the retreat was like enough, like, I want this all the time. I need this. It was like going to church. It really was. Like, I came out just feeling so like full of energy, and I didn't know what to do with that also. So I think obviously going to the program is going to give me access to understand what to do with that fire so it doesn't burn out. But I'm going to cut my camera off again. But thank you, Crystal, so much for
I can't wait.
letting me be a part of the program. Girls, if you are on the fence, it's worth it. It's worth it. Do it for yourself. Listen to yourself. Do it for yourself.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm popping the link to the retreat this weekend if anybody wants to come. We're doing an encore. It's going to be different than the first one, but it's going to be similar. And what I love that Tasha brought that up, thank you so much, Tosh, is that what you experience in that retreat is what I'm trying to create in your life. I want you, like my mastermind that's coming for ladies, because what happens is after you do her playbook, you're open wide open, like, oh shit, I can do anything. And you're ready for your life. You're ready to take yourself on. So then you get to step into cloud 9, which is like literally the epitome of what that retreat embodies, which is like feeling connected, feeling inspired, feeling motivated, feeling passionate, feeling purposeful, feeling on fire, and knowing. And then in cloud 9, it's having the plan of action to put it into place and all of that. And I'm only bringing that up to say that I'm just glad that you brought that up. So if anybody is not attending on Saturday, whether you're signed up or not signed up, feel free to come. I was just talking with Ashley today where she's doing a sound bath meditation. I think I already shared that. And then we're going to do a sexy dance routine, vision boarding, all of that. So it's just an amazing time. And that is a great taste of what you get to experience on a weekly basis with our program, with this program. So I'm excited for all you ladies. I know Lynette said she wanted to share, so go ahead.
Okay, so as a non-athlete, like non-professional athlete person, I wanted to just share that I felt very accepted in this group, that I had a lot of things that I related to with the other women. I never felt like I didn't even know that we weren't being paired with like non-athlete, like athletic, or I don't know, pro wifeys weren't with regular wifeys. Like I didn't know that. So that's how welcomed I felt, and that's how much I got out of this. Was it's really not about like who you're with or who's doing what or anything. It was literally about raising each other up as like women in a community and building yourself. And that's where I kind of started, was with postpartum depression, and I found Crystal's thing during the heat of COVID, and I did the IM membership with her, and then her playbook, and literally every couple months I am just so stoked to see how much more I could grow as a person, how much more can I love myself, how much more can I like be a better mom, be a better anything. And this work is transformational, and I feel like it's never ending. And I'm grateful that I could do it with like-minded women like yourselves who are on here looking to explore and open your minds and love yourself more. So if this is something that you've been called towards, I can't tell you enough, like do it. You will not regret it. I promise you. And if you do, then call me and I will apologize to you directly.
Yeah, I thank you, Lynette. And one thing that I want to reiterate that you shared and pair it with what Tasha shared, because she's like, it's like going to church. I love to tell people doing this type of work is like, there's no new Bible. There, you know, when you go to church, you're learning about your faith over and over and over, but you're staying connected to the source so that you stay in that energy, which is why I question religion all the time, but I'll never question being in the house of God, because that's my opportunity to stay connected to source. And so that's what I love about this community is they say you become who you hang around and who you are connected to. And so that's the power of this community, is on a weekly basis, you're connected to powerful women who are also open-minded to growing and learning and evolving, so that you have no choice but to grow, learn, and evolve too. And so I love that Lynette pointed out that she's done other programs. So even if you've done self-development or you've done other things, there's always a next level to your life. There's always something new you can uncover. And that's why a lot of these ladies are choosing to go back and do this program over and over and over again and stay in it, because they want to just keep getting that next level. So thank you so much for sharing that. And bye, Nishay. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to see you next week. She might have already left, but all right. So I know we're at time. I'm just going to open up one last time if there's anybody else. Okay, go ahead, Hannah.
I was like, I had that feeling like I wanted to share, but I was all nervous. And what I said was just aligned with exactly what you said. So I was like, okay, I got to push past this nervousness. So for me, I turned 30 at the end of 2019. And right before I turned 30, I started doing a lot of self-reflection. And I was realizing that basically I have a lot of undealt with like issues. And I see them played out where I'm like the nicest person with everyone except my mom and my relationship with whoever man that could be at the time. And I wanted to change, so I started going to therapy, but I felt like, yes, this is helping, and I feel like I'm so much more aware of myself, but I still feel like I haven't discovered what a lot of those underlying triggers are. Like, why can I be so sweet and then go from like 0 to psycho in like half a second? And it usually, my outburst literally lasts like 20 or 30 seconds, but by then the damage is already done, you know? So I just feel like, yeah, if there's any of you guys that are on the fence, and if it's like money or this, that, and I wanted to do the first wave, but I was like, oh no, my therapy's at the same time. And then the second time, I wasn't even thinking of that. I'm like, forget it, sign me up. And then it worked out because now it's an hour earlier. And then like, I just put the first time wave, I had money. And the second time I did it, I just put it on my card and I was like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, because in December I got COVID. So I had quarantine, I wasn't working. And then the first Monday of the year, 3 old bosses all hit me up. Now I think I've overcommitted. It's like I have my business, I have 3 jobs. So when you like open yourself up to change and things, like Crystal says, like money's energy. And when we change our mindset that we're lacking, and we're putting that out into the universe, then we are lacking. But if you want to be a better person with like your money, your finances, etc., and Crystal resonates with you, I think you should sign up and definitely go to the virtual retreat. I was sick that day, throwing up, like running to the restroom every few seconds, and I still got so much out of it.
Thank you for sharing. And I want to tell you guys what Hannah just shared. She said the call is at a different time. Her playbook was at 10 o'clock last time. Now, it also worked out for me because I'm adding Cloud9, my mastermind for the next level, ladies. But so we're doing that at 10 o'clock now. But I want to point something out to you guys. Where there's a will, there's always a way. And you're going to learn this. I'm going to teach you how to say yes to everything your heart desires. That Hannah messaged me and was like, I want to do this, but I can't do 10 o'clock. I'm like, boom, we're going to change it to 9. So like we changed it because she spoke up and asked. And so you've got to learn how to, when you want something, go ask for it. Oprah says we get what we have the courage to ask for. So I just thought that was a cool little share slash testimony and example of don't let your limitations lead you. You've got, and that's what, I teach all the time when surrounding my vision is like, lead from your vision. I just was listening to one of my, I see Raquel's on, Ellie Shepley from Juice Plus. I was watching this girl, she's like a leader in the community, her video alive, and she was saying how she was teaching manifestation. And it was just really, really cool because God's sending me lots of validations because I'm starting to teach more and more desire-based, feminine, power-based coaching for women who want to open up to money and and by the way, that reminds me, I have a bonus for you guys, but to open up to money. And what she was saying was, we place limits on ourselves. And if we want something, what we have to do is say yes to that something. And then the money, the time, the energy, the whatever opens up to match what you committed to. That's just how the universe works. And every money book that I've ever read, I've done tons of studying of money flow, money energy, has said, you say yes, you trust the universe, God, that abundance is already yours and available to you. You just have to be available to receive it. So when money is your objection, you've got to ask yourself, where is my limiting belief in this? Where am I not valuing myself to invest the money for this? And what I find usually what it is it's the self-worth, the value, like you're not used to investing in yourself. And it's also, oh shit, like Asia said, I pay for so many programs. I already went to a conference. I told my husband the last book I read, the last conference, the last coach I hired was going to be that thing. And then I didn't even finish that. So you don't have that trust in yourself that you're going to actually finish and show up and do the work. So you pull back because you're afraid. Well, again, the only way to change that is to change it. So my invitation to you is to choose, make today the day that you choose. I'm done with that old me. I'm done with the parts of me that don't work. And so the bonus that I wanted to say that I forgot to say earlier, if there's anyone on who hasn't already committed, and whether if you already are committed, you're going to get this anyways. But I'm also offering, I'm going to be dropping a mini course early this year, called Money Honey. And it's my programming of how I reverse engineered my money mindset and how I started just getting money to flow into me and how I say yes to everything that I want. And how when I was healing my marriage the last 3 years, as I've started studying money management, I realized, oh my gosh, the very things that they're teaching in these books, or through I just hired a business coach, a new business coach who's a wealth management, because I can make money now. Money flows to me easily, but it flows even easier out of me. And so I'm tired of like money just like going like this in my life. I want to constantly feel abundant. And so I hired a new coach for that. And everything I'm learning in all of these different money areas are the same exact things that were required of me to heal my marriage. So that's going to be coming out in a lot of the principles you'll learn in her playbook anyways, but it'll just be focused on money. So that's another bonus. You won't have to pay for that course when it drops. You'll have access to it. I'm offering that to the ladies who enroll in her playbook this run. So if you're on the fence, this is your last invitation for now to join us. We start next Tuesday. I will end by saying, when you see vision for something you want, whether it's her playbook, whether it's a vacation, a car, a house, or whatever, the longer from the vision you see to the commitment you make to actually go get that vision, the harder it is to achieve the vision you want. So if you're thinking about doing this, don't think any longer, just say yes and figure it out after. I am the queen. If you hang around me long enough, I'm the queen of teaching you to jump off the cliff and then figure out how you're going to not die. So pay for it, invest, sign up, and then figure out how you're going to show up, how you're going to pay for it, how you're going to tell your husband this is what you're doing. But I promise you, husbands love this work. I have multiple wives who are like, oh my God, my husband's asking when's the next one. And I know Asia didn't share this, but one of my favorite testimonies she's shared with me was, my husband was like, wait, how much did we pay for her? Like, dang, like, because it was nothing compared to the value that he was seeing in her. And he was just like, man, like, he really endorsed it. So it was really cool. Hubbies love this work. And your future man, if you don't have a man, will love it even more, because you're going to call in the most incredible partner by doing this work. So thank you all for showing up today. The links are in the chat if you haven't already grabbed them. One is for signing up if you want to join, and the other one is for the retreat this Saturday if you haven't already. Oh, and the code to attend free to this Saturday is I am bonus. Wait, no, that's not it. Just kidding. That was an old code. I am generous. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I am generous, all caps, to attend Saturday for free. If you want to come and hang out with us and do some heart work and have some lady day night fun. All right, I'm signing off. I hope to see you all next Tuesday, and I am just oozing with excitement for us to dive in and do this work together. So love you guys. See you soon. Thank you all for your shares and for showing up, and I'll see you later. Bye.